it's still reasonable because you can go all the way back to Fall Regional 1, and the Peeps have only beat G2 twice since then, so it doesn't happen very often, and they've played a lot of games, so G2 definitely has the edge.
You shouldn't sleep on the Peeps, but G2 is one caffeinated team, so look out, here they come. Gyro, let me putting this one up. We got G2 in the blue. No, G2 in the orange, excuse me. Peeps in the blue. A best of 5. So going back to the best of 5s, 3 to win in our final series of the day.
And I think James made a great point, by the way, excuse me, about Gyro really being a big part of that defense and transition game for the Peeps, because, you know, Illusion oftentimes is kind of stuck as that third man or making sure nothing goes terribly wrong, and Gyro really does have to lead the way and get the ball into AJ's hands in spots to be successful. So it's a good plan to say Rizzo go hunt him down and good things will happen.
We'll see if Rizzo can find him. Illusion dumped in towards the box. AJ's there as there wasn't a follow-up. The G2 player missed the ball, and that's Peeps with the first goal.
Yeah, JNAP's not a bad clear, but the problem with it is it takes that real nasty hop off the side and just kicks right back into the middle of Chicago. Is thinking something else entirely is going to happen, so he is caught out of position. Just one nasty kick does G2 in.
G2 putting pressure on, looking to bounce back after goal number 1. Rizzo down to JNAPS. Got Illusion in front of him. Illusion will block. Now one goalie, very loose in goal right now for the Peeps. AJ gets back on the ground and we'll get enough of a save, but Rizzo now up for it. Onto the whole net to shoot out. Illusion makes the save on the shot. Follow from Chicago, drops it to JNAPS, and Gyro gets in the way. Now Illusion onto the wall, up against Rizzo. Over to the side. Chicago with extended pressure from G2. Down to JNAPS, met by Illusion at the point of contact, and he'll boom this one over the top of all of them. Chicago on the third man. We'll wait for the bounce, carried over the top of Illusion. And pass off to JNAPS towards the goal. AJ will get it to the corner. Follow-up, Chicago nearly actually goes between the posts, despite being the tightest of angles.
Yeah, it would have been a fantastic shot from Chicago, but I think the biggest thing to look out for when that ball gets over onto the blue half is how the Peeps are able to find the proper first touch. You know, can they put it in a position where they're the ones to go and get it, or not have to just challenge for the ball immediately afterwards? It's going to be that ball control on the defense for Peeps that decides if they can hang with G2 or not, I think. So keep an eye on that.
Chicago now out of his corner at halftime. JNAPS to the sky with Gyro, gonna meet him. Here's Chicago putting another shot. Gyro falling back down, makes the second stop. Classy play. As Rizzo onto the backboard will get met by AJ. Now Chicago dumps it to the midfield. JNAPS to turn on this one. Gyro bearing down on them, but JNAPS will get it away in time. Double commit on the backboard. Rizzo puts it high. He's going to need 2 touches at least to get it on target. Blocked by Illusion. Follow up from JNAPS is good. AJ couldn't ground himself. Tie game.
Nice bit of control here from Rizzo. Off the ceiling to himself. Forces the defense into a tight spot. There's a triple commit. All 3 up to try and stop it. And as you said, just like the last game, AJ still recovering. Doesn't have the time to land and get back up to stop the shot to the top of the net.
1:59 on the clock. We're evened up in game number 1. Illusion falls behind this one. JNAPS is there in Chicago to pick it up. Now JNAPS to the air. AJ meets him in the sky. Chicago falling back will take out Illusion on his way. And Gyro wins another one. Chicago out to Rizzo, extends this to midfield. Illusion to the sky to follow up on it. JNAPS now down. Chicago looks for the bump on him, finds him on the rotation. 2-1 G2.
I absolutely got him. This is Illusion, I think, trying to dump that ball off to where he thought Gyro was going to be, but Gyro was off taking the corner boost of G2 instead of rotating back, so ended up being nobody there, and Illusion kind of just hands G2 a transition that they turn into a 2-on-1 goal.
Rizzo misses, but JNAPS is right there now to pick up control. Going to try and play it off of Gyro. Oh my goodness. Chicago, I didn't believe. Chicago was nearly in the right position to read that pinch. Just didn't believe it would actually happen. Now looking to zone out some other players. JNAPS will pick up control again. Into the box, and the follow-up. Chicago's there this time. He didn't believe the first time. He believed the second time there. 3-1 G2.
Yeah, Gyro, it's a good block, but AJ's kind of trapped here on the backboard, and I'm not sure if Illusion helped that or not.
I think it was a pinch.
It might have been. It's tough to tell because that ball trail was only orange, but it's very possible Illusion just hit that right into Chicago instantly, and it just spiked towards the net. So the Peeps really getting tied up on defense as Chicago. He's trying. Trying
is the correct word. That's onto the backboard. Rizzo turns on this one up against AJ. AJ misses, but so does Rizzo. The ball is just wide. Illusion will flick JNaps, but Chicago picks it up to stall things out. Wins another challenge, and now JNaps will take control in the midfield up against AJ. Slowly off the corner. Follow from Chicago's good. Looks for the bumps on the defenders. Doesn't find anybody. Gyro gets himself a savior medal here with 30 seconds left to go in the game. And he'll now take control. Chicago's got JNaps in the midfield. AJ and Illusion tangled up on top of each other. Gyro versus Chicago just flicks it to the near post. 4-1 G2 firmly in control of game one.
I want to see what happens if you got no boost and you land in properly and you try and flip to recover and it all just goes down a very slippery slope quickly. That was Illusion in that corner right there.
22 seconds left. This one is very much all G2. And yeah, the lack of boost there on that final play, I don't know, like a little bit. I'm not going to say I've noticed particularly the Peeps being out of boost. What I have noticed is just a suffocating pressure from G2, constantly able to turn it back in over and over and over again. And give themselves more opportunities as they'll get one more for the road.
Hey, gentlemen, Illusion the gentleman. I want to see if he did this on purpose. Did he pass it out to the middle? Hang on, let's see. That's a pretty good touch. Straight down to JNaps. He might have been. He could have been aiming for AJ. He was over there. But either way, drops it right onto JNaps' nose.
Concedes in style. So here you go. You can have one more. You got us. We'll get you in game two. Peeps.
Oh my gosh.
Unable
you
to.
Said suffocating pressure. Yeah, count that real quick. That's 16 to 2.
16 shots to 2 and 0 saves to 11. So savior medal for every player on the Peeps, and G2 didn't have to stop anything on their own goal line. That is not what you want to see there. And they are, like I said at the beginning, I think it's just worth repeating. We had a best of 7 in the last series. This one's a best of 5. Only got to win 3. Peeps have much less time to figure this out. As next game, we'll give G2 match point were they to win that one. They got to figure it out here in game 2.
And it's kind of interesting. G2 really didn't seem to have to do too much, so to speak. It was really kind of just, all right, we have the boost, we're camped out here in the midfield, and we're going to see what you give us. And more often than not, the Peeps just kind of got tongue-tied in a couple of weird spots on the walls or just not being able to catch back up to a challenge. And G2 just threw it back into the mix and said, okay, now what do you do? And eventually they just crumbled.
Yep, absolutely. Over and over again, G2 was just in the right place and just constantly just putting the pressure on, and people were like, oh, we'll do this. Is that good? Oh, no, it wasn't. Crap.
And that's exactly what I was saying. It's so important to see the Peeps have the proper ball control when they're on defense. And if they can get command of that ball, they need to be able to control it and keep it with them to really drive out of their own half. Otherwise, you're going to see a repeat of game 1.
Well, here comes G2. They would love to repeat game 1. Lucian and AJ working together to clear this one, but AJ and Gyro now both on this ball. Illusion is going to have to play some defense here as AJ loses that second touch cleanly, and now Chicago is looking to keep it away from Illusion, but loses control on the backboard. JNaps down into the box once more. Illusion out to the edge.
See, that's exactly the point, though. It's like Illusion steals the ball right there, but he hit it so hard that he couldn't actually catch back up to it and hang on to it, and G2's right back on offense.
As the clearing has its purposes, but only if there's some sort of follow-up plan. Otherwise, you're really just conceding ball control back to the team that you're clearing into. It comes off the wall. Chicago to the edge. It's got Rizzo on the ground and James far back.
He's still going for him.
JNaps puts a high. Chicago to follow this one. It gets enough of it. Can he turn this in somehow? Loses it on the final touch in the final moment. Gyro with lots of boost and tons of altitude to work with. Drops it in from midfield. How about it? Goal number 1. Go to the Peeps.
Beautiful shot from Gyro, able to sneak past one in the corner. And like you said, look at him just hold on to that ball, stick it right up near the ceiling. And that's just such great control. It was so important because he didn't even have to use boost. He was going the same speed as the ball the whole way, and as soon as he wanted to hit it, then he just tapped boost and just put it over the top of the defenders. Beautiful.
Has the entire net to shoot at. So much control. Wonderful stuff there. As the Peeps take the lead. Can they hold on to it here? There's AJ. Driving to cross Chicago to the outside. JNaps to follow this on the wall. Still has half to take a boost, but loses control of this one. Chicago's going to try and follow it up. Rizzo now caught in the midfield. Needs to fall back quickly as here comes the two-man press. JNaps will actually cover it up. Rizzo just blocking a portion of the net, making the shot more difficult. JNaps quickly following up, was able to deal with it.
And you get to see a really interesting thing. How did this G2 play from behind? Because you spend, 5 minutes with the other team really in a full Nelson, couldn't do anything. And now you got to come back and find a way to get an answer. So do they decide to play more aggressively, or do they see if they can recover that same position that they were in?
Oh, Rizzo's got a free net to shoot at here. Evolution gets bumped. Oh no, Evolution does make enough of a touch to keep out the tying goal. And it's been Gyro and AJ on double commits a few times in this game. High boost burning double commits. Not the maybe it's a good double commit. No, that's just bad double commits. As Gyro will try to dump this one back down. Chicago off the wall, gets it past him. Evolution will move in to take control. JNaps, soft touch, regains it. Gyro up against Rizzo now. Evolution wins another one. Evolution has been this strong back line, winning the challenges. Gyro's up for it. JNaps will block him. And Evolution puts it to the sky, looks for the follow-up here, trying to get it softly to AJ, but G2 gets just enough of a bumper onto it to put it behind him.
See, now here you see the inverse of the situation. Now that the Peeps don't need to score, that just dump the ball off, even if you can't hang on to it, it's fine, because now it's time wasting instead of just fighting for the ball.
It's one of those fascinating things about how goal number one sets the pace. Oftentimes, goal number one doesn't determine who wins, but it does determine how the game gets played. As Rizzo and JNaps going to come down. Evolution gets past both. Chicago puts it on target, though. And we're tied up with 1:16 left to go.
There was a big piece of me that wanted to see Evolution to have more boost and get back to this ball, but he's stuck floating with 0, and he does not have an opportunity to make 2. So G2 catch him on transition again.
What a touch. What a play. And it took all 3 G2 players, but they will get it tied back up. And the pace, the framing of the game changes once more here, as Peeps are no longer able just to sit back on their laurels. Rizzo on the wall, takes this one patiently, pitches it out to JNaps, who'll follow this one. Half a tank of boost, he'll fill it up in the midfield, off the ceiling, reset there. Can he go for it late? AJ gets the block. Chicago also blocked by AJ. Rizzo. With all of the tools in his belt, but can he make a table out of it? Here comes Chicago. JNaps, trying off the wall. 38 seconds left. Overtime starting to glimmer on the horizon.
Gotta commend Rizzo there. Can he make a table? He really made a table out of, particle board and tape. It was a great challenge there, despite making the initial wrong decision. Gyro tries to end it right here, puts it too high, smashes it off the wall, and Chicago getting bumped on the way out. Like you said, overtime looming here and very likely now.
Yeah, Rizzo gets it towards the goal. AJ there. Here's Chicago. One last press from G2, who have had plenty of control across the last 2 games. We gotta go for the full court carry, though, getting challenged by Gyro into the sky. On the wall, Rizzo not going to touch this one. JNaps and Evolution will put it into the ground. Overtime in game 2.
This is going to be interesting. The Peeps have clearly found a way to find a foothold, but you can still just count the shots. 9. Oh my gosh, 9 for G2 and make that 4 for the Peeps, but that one saved away by JNaps as the pressure continuing to build. Evolution
under the wall. AJ's up, but JNaps will beat him. And then follow on this one, Chicago gets it away. Rizzo making up the back line. Now Chicago demolished, means Rizzo will move up. And he gets it out of the corner. Evolution, excellent touch. Keeps that ball glued to the ceiling all the way to midfield, and AJ's able to single tap it to the corner. Corner play is so important here in this series. The ball continuously being played to those edges that are the most difficult to read. Now Evolution, long way to the side. First minute. Coming and
what a
going.
steal. That's a big touch from JNaps.
Chicago gets off the backboard, but he's going to have to block 2. AJ and Aleutian on top of this one, looking for the second touch. Here's the follow from Aleutian.
You were talking about bad double commits. That's exactly what that was. But look at AJ try and turn it into gold as he tried to go and catch that one. And Aleutian gets the rebound and kicks it off Chicago's rear corner panel. And he own goals it. Wow.
Yeah,
what an ending.
They tried alchemy. The missing ingredient was JNaps. Bam. They got it there. Unfortunate stuff, but yes, they did continue. You know, that is the right play when you make an aggressive, kind of obscene double commit on offense is, well, we're here now, so let's figure out what to make out of it. And Aleutian does just enough in combination with the rest of his team and JNaps to get the win in game number 2, tie up the series.
That was quite an interesting goal. Would love to try and break that one down. Gyro with definitely the best shot in the game, and look at that G2 transition. Aleutian doing his best, but how do you fight all 3 people? You can't. And it's JNaps, you're right, not Chicago, excuse me. Gonna give the Peeps a little bit of life here, because I think game 2 is always a really important game in the series, you know, because if you lost game 1, you don't want to be down 0-2, and if you win game 2, you're like, all right, it's fine, we're back in it. So really good win there for the Peeps, even if not everything went according to plan. Kind of felt like a wash, rinse, repeat of game 1 with how much pressure G2 was applying, but they come out on top this time.
Yeah, significantly less productivity from G2 despite the continued pressure. I think the saves matched the shots this time. It wasn't 16 to 11. It was like 9 to 9 of a 1-to-1. Chicago pushing this away, and Rizzo now off the ceiling. Does not choose to use the flip. JNaps now looking for the mind games. Chicago. He's got AJ in front of him onto the backboard. AJ gets just enough of it off the rebound. JNaps quickly adjusting. Keeps this one out of his box. AJ was there to challenge. Gyro wins it against Chicago, and it's Rizzo now to the outside. Gyro winning it again. Peeps starting to build a little bit of pressure. It's Rizzo through another. Gyro on the outside.
Nice.
JNaps loses it to Aleutian, and Rizzo takes it underneath. This corner has been the favorite spot for game 3. Spent the last 45 seconds here. Chicago and Rizzo will pump it up in the midfield, and AJ to the backboard now. JNaps going to struggle to reach this, but does get a bumper onto it, and here's Gyro on the follow-up. Got it so softly. Try to hit him with the changeup, but G2 not going to fall for it.
You're liking the look here from the Peeps here in game 3. Now they're the ones pushing G2 back, even if it's not really converting to a lot of shots on goal. They would much rather this than the option, the other side of the coin. And look at this bump from the Peeps to open the door.
Bumping out JNaps, and then Rizzo tries his best, but also gets cleared away, leaves it wide open for AJ. The Peeps have goal number 1, game 3. Gyro to challenge this after the kickoff. JNaps to win it all. Aleutian commonly being left in the third man gets demolished, and he's going to need the rotations to be clean. AJ gets enough of a block. Rizzo just sends it on target, and Gyro's there to get it away. The follow-up not going to bother him at all. Rizzo's breathing down his neck, and now he looks for the solo goal in the counterattack.
Ooh, this is kind of awkward here for the Peeps. AJ needs to be careful. He can't get beat because now Aleutian's in a bad spot, and G2 real slow to pick it up, so they try to slow pace and play down and go for the pass. Not a bad adjustment, considering they really didn't have the positioning to try and capitalize off that.
But G2, they wanted to be able to capitalize on that one. Rizzo just a little bit too far back. That's the problem with passive positioning does mean that there will suddenly be golden moments that you're like, well, it's just as pretty as it looks, there's nothing I can do about it. Full collapse on this one. Chicago picking up midfield boost as JNaps tries to challenge it off of Aleutian. Aleutian in the corner, slowing it down. Chicago's got it lofted. Rizzo's up for it. Wins at that challenge as well. JNaps, though, not going to read it. Gyro will get this clear. JNaps off his own backboard, cranks it out to Rizzo, keeps it at midfield. Gyro with a lot of space has this ball all to himself and just sends it straight to the goal. Chicago with a counter clear. AJ into the sky, and Rizzo to challenge him. Chicago's passes to an empty corner. Gyro and AJ.
Communication on G2's side of things. You think you got this big transition coming, you dish it out to the left, and suddenly no one's there. Chicago is going to try and waste a couple seconds here. But G2, I think they're kind of scratching their heads here about why they can't get anything done.
They've been a little bit on top of each other. There was the pass to the left. Both players were actually stacked up directly behind them. I agree, is miscommunication, it seems. Is this dangerous? Rizzo to the outside. Chicago waits out Gyro. Takes control now up against AJ. Will flick him onto the backboard. A monster flick. JNaps is up for it. Both defenders out. Here comes Rizzo. Can he find it? No. The recovery from Illusion again. Illusion just consistently. It's like he makes one challenge and it's like, no, he's going to make another one. Don't worry. He somehow gets back down and gets in front of the ball again.
That was an ace recovery from Illusion. Quality defense, and everyone should learn how to make that touch.
Rizzo with 50 seconds left. Dodges one demolition, gets it into the box, but AJ gets it away. Now Chicago looking for JNaps, doesn't connect. Rizzo on the far side, though, off the corner bounce, looks for the second one, couldn't 360 it. JNaps now to Chicago with some space, blocked by AJ. Rizzo to turn, Gyro's already in the air. Peeps reading so quickly right now, keeping them alive in this game. 30 seconds left, and they're up by a 1, looking to take match point.
G2 just needs to speed up those passes. They're coming through and they're in position to catch them, but it's just taking too long for the shot to really come after it. Kind of have to be right on top of it to catch that defense off.
Rizzo over 1. Illusion to the backboard with 8 seconds left. G2's got to get the full court carry. And the pressure's on. They're having to play defense instead. The clock has expired. Illusion drops it down. It hits a corner. And now here's Chicago to catch it, keep it alive. I don't know anybody's boost situation at this point, but Chicago now won't be able to put it on. The Peeps take 2 in a row with minimal scoring here. 1-0 in game 3, and now are just looking at match point.
That was an ugly end game from G2. Bumping each other, kind of figuring out, do you have it, do I have it? They couldn't just spread themselves out and let them all make their own decisions, since that's what happens when you all kind of get in the same place. When something needs to happen, everyone goes, I don't want to double commit. And then they kind of just flub the possession because they can't actually turn it into anything on such a tight constraint.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Peeps genuinely, they absolutely played the better Rocket League here in game 3. And now one game away from getting the upset on what would be an absolute collapse from G2 on this day, after getting reverse swept in their first series and then winning decisively in game number 1 and dropping 2 in a row. They have to turn it around here in game 4 and force game 5.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Peeps really did just enough on defense there. A couple of those shots were real good from G2, but like we said, it just took a little too long for the shot to actually come after the pass was made. It beat the defense, but the shot's not coming instantly, so the defense had time to readjust. And so Peeps doing a nice job throughout that game and continuing with that, if we have to launch it, just do it. If they've got the lead, that's great. And Gyro, that's a huge stop.
G2 is trying to do what they could not in game 3. Get on the board. Here's JNaps. Now Chicago, Illusion covering him up. And picking a star player off of this Peeps roster. A bit difficult here for this series. It's been very much a team effort, but if I had to pick one, I feel like Illusion has just constantly been in the right spot. Open net, can anybody find it? Rizzo's there, and it's just a little slow. AJ does get back in time.
That's exactly the G2 condition. The golden opportunity, but the shot takes too long, and defense makes the adjustment, makes the clear. Now you can't miss this.
Okay. Just put it straight down the middle. Just don't even try to make it crazy here. G2 will score. A bit of an overcommitment. Completely open net.
Yeah, both Illusion and AJ kind of caught over on that G2 side with no boost, while Gyro was the one initially challenging. So no one actually able to make any kind of adjustment, and they give up a free one.
Gyro trying to read JNaps following kickoff.
Good touch.
JNaps back passes to Rizzo. Illusion. Going to the sky, he's got Gyro on the far side, but he doesn't really have the positioning to possibly manipulate the ball in that direction. Gyro falls back knowing this and Picks up control, AJ. Just playing the passive third man. This is dangerous, and Chicago hits him with the flip, lets him fly past, and gets a 2-goal lead.
A great touch here from Chicago, wins the challenge right in front of the net, and I think he was even caught a little off guard by that ball bouncing straight back to him. I think he was initially thinking, get the demo so my teammate can get it, but it made a little correction, came right down towards him, hit it with a snap backflip. Was able to squeeze that one by.
That was a creative way to find a solution here as the goal number 3 just barely thwarted by AJ in the crossbar. Gyro now with a flick on 1. 2-goal game for Peeps. They'll take a momentary stop to fill up the tanks and lose control. Chicago and JNAP's tag team this one to the far post. AJ can't reach it. 3 goals in a minute and 45.
I think AJ could see this one coming, but he gets caught on the side of the pitch with no boost. And the worst part is he takes the path to go to his own corner, and it has no boost. And so now he's stuck with 0 as the shot's going right over his head in the top left corner. Nothing in the tank, couldn't reach it.
I think Gyro playing for, did they get a 4th one?
That's another one.
My goodness. All right, cool. So, G2, you just gotta learn to spread them out, man. Like, you don't need as many goals in game 4. You could have won games 2 and 3. It's just...
Oh my gosh, that's a disgusting angle.
Wild. Like, crazy.
I mean,
so we got...
If that's a game maker, we're screaming our heads off right there. But when you're up 4-0 with 3 minutes, like that shot just makes you go, wow.
Like, man, look what these guys can do when they're not worried about losing. So here comes JNAPS with another one. Low flip reset. AJ will block him. And Chicago going to try to get it through 2. Gyro into the midfield. And game 4 already a bit out of hand. The one thing for...
Get one back?
And one thing for the Peeps here is they do have over half the game left to work with.
Yeah, I really do think you kind of just enter damage control here. You're absolutely right. Yes, you've got plenty of time, but 4 goals is a lot, and it does not happen very often, if ever. And they are denied again.
4-goal comeback, I think, has happened. I'm always hesitant to bring this up because I feel like it just makes people go, cool, I'm gonna go get some popcorn now. But I think it's happened one time in RLCS. And it was in a qualifier as well, not even in a proper league play match or a major.
If it has happened, it is incredibly rare. 4 goals is quite the deficit to overcome at this level, no question.
Gyro back passes here. The Peeps, it's one of those, they lose control of the game early. If anything, this is you want to. I feel like it still plays in G2's in the Peeps' favor, getting down this many early. Not because you're not sitting here trying to win this game for the next minute and 42 seconds. You understand this game.
How to stop this?
Yeah, there's a little bit more of like just again the damage control. Let's talk about what we're gonna do in game 5. Let's think about where we're losing these challenges and what sort of mistakes we're making. How do we stop with the double commits that I think got punished a little bit more here in game 4? What sort of communication do we solve? Obviously, many of these problems you're not going to solve on the pitch, but also discussing
you can have a concrete idea of what you're expecting and how to avoid it, and that's valuable in its own reward, in its own sort of vacuum. And I think when you talk about the biggest problem, the double commits get punished a little bit more than usual, and you got to think, well, what causes double commits? The answer is one, shots like that. Strong shots on target from G2. Oh, Gyro, you can't miss that one, but it's okay. When you're getting strong shots on target by your opponents, you have to understand that double commits will be an inevitability, because when the shots are that strong and you can't afford to concede any more goals or anything like that, that's okay. On the goal line might be one of the few places where it's a little more acceptable than others, but it's really managing those touches in the midfield, and a lot of those are just happening because one of them thinks they can reach it. And it's just, you got to have a more concrete plan and an idea of what you're trying to accomplish. Because, if you can reach it, who cares? But do you get there before the opponent? Do you have a good reason for it? And more often than not, in this one, it feels like no.
Especially with a team as aggressive as G2.
Exactly. They play so far back that if you double commit, you are almost certainly about to be in a 2-on-1 transition back the other way, because they've got people ready to go.
Yeah, I bet I can beat him. It's a noble thought against a team as fast as G2, but it needs to be a I can. And you need to be, if you're that confident, you're able to go for it as one player. I think that's a strat we've seen work against G2 before. The problem is when it's two players, you honestly get in each other's way a little bit, and especially when it's as high as the ones I've been seeing from the Peeps, when they're committing to these balls that are just hanging in the air and they're burning 2 tanks of boost to get to
exactly.
It does become a problem here, but G2 rally in game 4. We're going to game 5. The loser of game 5 knocked out of this regional. The winner moves on.
And I really do think that whoever scores first here holds a big advantage, because I mean, if the Peeps have scored first, they've been looking great, because that smash the ball away has been fantastic, because they can now not have to worry about, now we have to move forward, we have to follow it up, we have to be able to score. They're able to be like, we've already got the lead, we'll just do what G2 does. And that's a tough thing to beat, is just hang out and then see if you can transition. And then if G2 scores, then they're just going to keep doing the exact same thing, and they're just better at it than the Peeps.
Yeah, no, we'll see how things go as we get into game 5. Champions Field. Winner takes all, moving forward in the tournament. JNAP's over 1. AJ out to Illusion. The backbone of the Peeps. Up in net again, out to the edge. Gyro soft touched, puts it just to the wall, and it's enough. AJ can't meet JNAPs, but Gyro now. No wait out Chicago. Chicago puts it behind him. Illusion off the ceiling. Chooses not to use the flip. Here's Gyro. Up against Chicago. Gets that neutral into the midfield. JNAPs alone. Keeps it high.
I think if you're the Peeps, your own corner boosts are going to be critical in this one. Something tells me this ball's going to spend a lot of time high and in the air, and they're going to continue to use a lot of boost to try and make plays happen. So if the Peeps are able to hang on to their own corner boost, JNAPs wants a double fake. Thankfully, Gyro is there to pull it out. Peeps hang on to their own corner boost, they'll be in an all right position, at least neutral.
Chicago through the sky. Over 1. And a pass out to JNAPs, puts it towards the backboard. He's getting chased by others, though. AJ will get it away from him. Rizzo towards the wall. Takes it high and soft. AJ past 1. JNAPs now in the corner with Chicago in tow. G2 slowing down, just trying to hold on to the ball, literally, in their corners. And the Peeps happy to collapse on them here as we've burned. This is the most passive game we've had so far in this series. Across 2 minutes of gameplay, no goals.
And that's an interesting, kind of dice to roll if you're G2. Trap it if you can, because then you enter into that, are your mechanics better than the Peeps? In some cases, yes. In some cases, no. And it just depends. Your execution is what matters at that point. Why did Rizzo slow down? Did he run out of boost? What?
What happened?
Okay,
Flip the post?
I don't know. So he gets bumped. He's rotating. Chicago gets demoed. And he got pushed into the net. It looked like he was going to get demoed. So he cut left. And I think he just reacted because he didn't want to get demoed. And they kind of cut each other off.
And the demolition on Chicago, really, the plays there. The ball just rolls towards the goal. And as they take away the defenders, both JNAPs and Rizzo, moment of panic. We have to be the one to stop it. There's no time to coordinate who it is.
That's the inverse, Peeps double commit on the goal line all day. G2 says, we don't want to double commit, and then no one does anything.
both bad. Honestly, the not double committing in that situation, that's the two outfielders sitting there both running at the ball and then both stop and it just lands between them.
Yep.
Here's Illusion. In game 5, sets up Gyro to win. The Peeps now up by 2 in game 5.
Well, hello, Illusion. Look at this touch from Gyro out to the middle and got that hit off the wall. Wanted to score it, but it's enough to beat the defense, and that's what's really critical. Nice 1-2-3 for the Peeps.
They're up 2-0. We're at halftime. You said goal number 1 would shape the game. How about 2 goals? Here's AJ. This team just got beat 4-0 in game 4.
You're fighting back panic if you're G2 right now, because 2 minutes is a lot shorter than you feel like you should have right now.
Your tournament life hangs in the balance. Rizzo up for it. Met at the point of contact. Aleutian got him and then wins another one. Aleutian continues to be the challenge master. Gyro out. AJ gets demolished, but the ball is now loose in the field. Here comes Gyro to pick it up. Two players commit in the midfield, but they get a nice touch out of it. AJ has to respond. JNaps pass to Rizzo. Met by Aleutian. No, it's behind the ball. Wow. They score. 1-goal game.
How do you even find the gap to shoot this through, Rizzo? Obviously, that's a great pass from JNaps, but look at all those people in the way. He just finds the right gap. That's insane.
I question Gyro's movement past midfield. It might have been that I missed him rotating into net and he's just hitting his brakes too late, but it looked like he chose to go for the right post, which was double covered by his teammates, leaving the spot behind him open. With 1:30 left to go, G2's got life. They got reverse swept earlier today and now about to be knocked out by a team they never lose to. Can they keep it alive? Ajax shoots for the far side, doesn't find it. Chicago now, past one. Aleutian in the corner with boost and a little bit of space, but Chicago's taken away from him. Back down in, Rizzo just cranks it to the goal. AJ makes the stop. Rizzo double taps the daylights out of him. Tie game.
We should have known, Wave. It's Rizzo game 5. We forgot. The X factor. We forgot. That man can somehow do no wrong, and there's the double commit on the goal line because Gyro, for some reason, thinks AJ's not going to hit that, and then he can't actually save what should be an easy clear.
Oh my. I don't even know. I don't know if I can call any like double tap off of a player in front on the goal line an easy read, but still, you hate to see it. And the Peeps, the 2-goal lead has kind of been enough today, but not this time. G2 rally back. 45 seconds left. Can they find the lead? Here's Gyro in the midfield. One miss. AJ with a demolition. Rizzo taking control. Past one. Past two to the corner. AJ with a stop. Chicago's in the whole net to shoot at. 30 seconds left. Chicago takes the lead.
Rizzo continues to make him dance. Cut left, cut right off the wall. Gets AJ to dive at it. Bounces off the corner of the net. And easy peasy for Chicago. Fighting off panic? What was I talking about? They knew they had it the whole way.
And Rizzo genuinely is ascending this game. Those last 2 goals created out of nothing, but here comes the pressure on the other side. Gyro ties it back. Pressure on the goal line. What a game.
Gyro and AJ. Look at Gyro go grab the boost. AJ buying him time, fakes the flip reset, and then Gyro just muscles Rizzo farther back into the goal to stop him from saving it. Overtime, maybe.
Call your friends in the other room. This is the 25 seconds
Bring
of
him
the day
back.
to watch. Here comes Gyro. In the corner with Rizzo. Wins the challenge now up against Chicago. Chicago blasted over the top of him. Holds control on the wall. Passes in front of the box. Double commit on the defense. Will still clear it. JNaps wasn't there for the shot. 10 seconds left. Overtime. Beginning to burn bright. Chicago through 1. Trying to finish it off in regulation. JNaps, one last opportunity. They can. Oh, he does keep it alive for 1 extra moment. Overtime, game 5. Next goal continues on to the tournament and knocks the other team out.
I do not know what to expect here. Rizzo just decided that everything was going to go in his favor. The Peeps got an early lead. AJ's going to knock him out. He crushes this challenge.
Oh, who is it? JNaps? JNaps here jumps. He has he cannot win that challenge in that way. He's too neutral, and the bulldozer pushes it through. What a play, what a win. Do not sleep on the Peeps.
Wow, that... What do you even say about that?
Oh.
You're thinking Peeps are up 2-0. You're like, well, this is a total wash. And then Rizzo, inside of 45 seconds, gives him the lead. And then the Peeps tie it up and win instantly in overtime.
This is the most classic G2 storyline for the day, right? Go up 2 games, lose in a reverse sweep, then go to overtime, be like, oh, or go to this game, be like, oh, we're gonna lose it, bring it back, and really give them hope. Give those G2 fans some real solid glass, like ice cold glass of hope. You're gonna enjoy this, and then slap it out of their hands. Oh my gosh. Like, I'm so sorry, G2 fans, you have to deal with this, but the Peeps came to play today, and even a magical, transcendent Rizzo couldn't change the results.
Slept on him, and that is now the third time that the Peeps have gotten a win over G2 and RLCSX out of how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 matches. So they're 3 and 5.
This one mattered. This one probably hurts the most. This is quite the result, and I am excited to hear from the desk about their sleepage. Let's go back to Leaf and the boys.